Oh, we got an empty seat. How we start with an empty seat?
What's up, guys?
What's going on?
Where my sound at?
Nah, that's what you was eating, man.
Brown stew chicken and some mac.
You on mute, bro.
I'm on mute. Can y'all hear me?
Max, you hear me?
Yo.
Y'all get me now?
Yeah. So, all right, they got me straight now. I can't hear y'all for a minute.
Oh, okay.
You hear us now?
You hear us now?
Yeah, we good. We live. We live?
We live.
Oh, we already live.
We live. We live.
Hey, Nas, real quick. I will use backstage. What was you eating? Cereal?
Nah. I was cheese and cabbage.
Yo, Nas got all that money. He got some dollar store cups, bro.
You probably eating that what's that off-brand cereal? What do they call it?
O's.
Cinnamon Toast Pea and Cinnamon Toast Punch, man.
Yeah, O's is official. Quick, O's is official. I love O's.
Oh man, what's up, everybody? Where's everybody from today, man? Welcome back. You know what it is. Every 2 weeks, we're out here.
San Antonio. Okay.
Nas, what's up with the cup, man?
Yo, bro, they cheat, man. They cheat, bro. They work, bro. Like,
What's up, Nas? What's up with Nas sound, man?
yeah, my sound is off.
No, those lights.
North Carolina. Y'all can hear me.
Yeah. Atlanta, Louisiana, Dallas. Louisville, Kentucky, California, Missouri. Oh, we in here.
Oh, Charlotte in the house. Queen City. Was good.
I see my U family is in here, man. Big shout out to them.
I didn't see nobody in here from you family, bro.
Definitely didn't, bro.
So what's going on, man? What's good since last time we talked? What y'all been working on, man? I've been so busy. We haven't even really been that active in our group chat.
Dude, I've been working, man. I've been working like crazy.
What's new? Anything new for you? What's going on?
I closed
deals.
Okay.
I just crossed 100 students, man. I'm excited about that. That's been taking a lot of time, but I'm enjoying pouring into people, man. And I've been having some students. I had a guy close a $38,000 deal. A bunch of students have locked up some deals, and these are like people's first deals, man. It's inspirational stuff.
Yeah, it feels good when somebody inboxes me or emails me or messages me and says, "Yo, I just locked up my first deal." Even though I don't know them and I haven't coached them directly, you know, just them taking action and just kind of seeing that it's possible. It's pretty cool.
That is true. Very true. Very true.
I can't hear Nas at all.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
You can hear him?
Yeah.
All right, let me back out and come back.
Hey, people in the comments, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, they can hear you.
Oh, okay.
So Nas, what's been up with you 2 weeks? It's 2 weeks we have.
Yeah, I just closed multiple wholesale deals. Nothing too crazy. Let me see. Man, I've been spending a lot of time at this property, bro. I'm moving my primary, which is stressful. You're going through the same thing, and it's stressful, bro. Like, I mean, but yours is probably more stressful. Yeah, yours is more because you're going ground up. So,
yeah. I think what's even worse about the project I'm doing right now on personal residence is, you know, so I'm building my house on 20 acres, and in order to move the amount of dirt that I'm moving, I had to put in what they call diversion erosion control berms.
Yeah.
And there's literally temporary ponds that in case there's a bad storm or water, that there's a place for the water to go so that the sediments, such as like mud and stuff, doesn't go to the neighbor's yard or stream that's nearby. So that cost me an extra just the work alone was $55,000, and then the engineers to build the plans was an extra like $7,000 or $8,000. So that was just out of the blue. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, that sounded about right. But yeah.
So now they asking you about what's up with the update on the sight unseen house.
Hey, it was supposed to be done this month. It should be done the beginning of August. So we'll see. I'm still in the process. Things are still moving forward locally. Things are still flying off in the retail market. But yeah, it's supposed to be done in August.
So tell me about the sight unseen deal. Do I know that story?
No, you don't know the story. I bought this rehab project. It's on my YouTube channel, Real Estate Guru, and I bought this house sight unseen and got inside, and it was just like toe up from the flow up, jacked up piece of shit. So just basically, it was terrible, bro. It looked just so good on paper, though. It looked just so good on paper. I got the house subject to. I want to say like 70 owed on the loan. It was like 15,000 I paid out between the seller and the wholesaler, and I'm all in. Like I was all in like 90 after all the fees and everything that was associated with everything. And I'm like, yo, you can't get nothing for this low in the neighborhood. I'm like, the house needs about 60, and it's probably worth about 230 to 240. I'm like, yo, this is a hell of a deal, and I'm getting subject to, so the money cheap. Man, I went in the house, bro. That house needs 100K, bro.
100K? What do you need some better subs, bro?
Yo, bro, I didn't go inside the house.
I could build a ground up 1300 for 65,000.
Yeah, bro. Yeah,
he getting those hands off type of contractors, man. He got one of those contractors.
I mean, we live in North Carolina, so we got a lot of good workers, a lot of skilled labor. I mean, our Hispanic population down here in Winston-Salem with the work, they're great. I mean, I've been working with one guy for 3 years straight, and he has never had a week without work messing with us. So
can't beat that.
Yeah,
you might have to reevaluate your subs, bro.
The same guy was gonna send you for that bathroom thing.
Yeah, this is terrible, bro. Now I don't know what's going on in Winston, but in Charlotte, these houses do be needing like 80 to 100. So I don't know.
What is the exit strategy on it?
It's only one. I gotta rehab it. I'm stuck in the renovation. Like I was going to take it down and resell it for like 110, 120.
Are you going to wholesale it?
I was.
I got you.
When I got inside after the property, that was no longer an option. Because
I just took a loss for 14,000 the other week on a house like that. Same situation.
20, but this house got 20 years of termites.
Yeah, but see, I had the same situation. I just didn't want to rehab it. I just went ahead and took the loss and decided to go ahead and get down the road.
Yeah, I was muscled into the rehab, but fortunately numbers are going up. But what was a home run deal turned into a slim deal real quick. So that's
for me, I got a sub too that I've actually had for almost probably close to 2 years now. Golly, that I haven't started the rehab on yet.
For 2 years.
Yeah, I've been paying the mortgage for 2 years.
Damn.
Almost 2 years. But this is gonna be one of those sweet ones. It's just what happens is like it's a $60,000 rehab.
That's not the one we looked at with the pool, is it?
Yes, that's it. I still got.
Now that house sweet though.
Yeah, exactly. It's huge, right? So I'm still paying that $900 or something a month, which is not bad, man. But obviously, that's an extra. When you stretch it out, I'm 20 grand in, and I ain't even rehabbed it yet.
Yeah.
What's the hold up?
It really wasn't a priority in the sense of like it just really on a quick hit list. When you got all these other projects and it's hard to find good subs, it's like, nah, let's do this one and get to 30, and then those things keep popping up, and then now finally I think we finally dedicated to that the next one. Once we get off this project we're on now, we're gonna jump to that one and put the main subs on those. And it's just two brothers, Hispanic guys that they do most of the finishing work, detail work. They actually do it all, and we just call in we call in the plumbers.
You can't be a whole house renovator, man.
Yeah, and you see CJ, you seen that one with a pool, so I was kind of intimidated in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
I was because I didn't know which direction to go with the pool and whether you fill it in, but I think that house has to have the pool to get that value out of it.
Nah, I think it's a nice house. Isn't it like by a lake or something like that? Or
yeah, it's a lake in the cul-de-sac, like in the back of
yeah.
like, so it's actually on a road called Lake Spring or something like that. But yeah, I got excited when I started learning sub twos and was just buying everything I could, and that was one of the ones that I just was a big rehab.
But, yeah,
sound like me, man.
That's crazy. 60,000 is a big rehab for you. You got it good. You got it good, bro. I'm gonna say that you got it good.
I did a full project one time, and it was probably close to 45, 50. And I'm talking about we ripped down studs, new basement. I mean, you know how you turn like the old Carolina basements into like tile floor.
Yeah.
All of that. We did all of that stuff, man. So I don't know, man. I got to check some of your numbers, bro.
Yeah, bro. Nah, my rehabs be like my big rehabs 100 or better. My big bro, I put 130 in houses before, but now these are houses that retail for like probably 300 to 500K.
Yeah, I mean, I know you ain't doing it without the room. I just think, dang, that's a lot of.
No, I'm just talking, but like for example, that house is the pool. How much? What's the retail price on that?
Probably like 285.
Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and jump out the limb and say 285. You're probably not getting a pool in your backyard in Charlotte.
Yeah, you not. See, Charlotte and Winston, y'all a little different. This house in Charlotte would probably be close to like 450.
That makes sense. Yeah.
CJ been to the house. CJ went there. It's a big house.
It's a nice house. It's got a basement and everything on it.
Somebody said something about finance. What are some of the best ways to find financing for wholesale deals? Wholesale.
Yeah, I mean, I do a bunch of those. I mean, best way to find financing, I think sub 2 is a great strategy if you don't have access to capital, like what Nas was trying to do. But I suggest going to look at the house. I've made the same mistake that Nas has made. I just lost a bunch of money the other week from trying to wholesale a house without going to look at a house. I bought it, ended up losing a bunch of money or whatever. However, IRA conferences are great. Obviously, with the COVID situation going on, that kind of landscape or climate has kind of changed. I would look for those online groups. People that have money parked in their IRAs are consistently looking for ways to grow that money. And you want to identify people who are managing self-directed IRAs.
100%. And you can, and that's easy. And that's essentially rehabs, though. I mean, that's a rehab at that point.
Yeah. But that money's not hard to find. Local hard money lenders, they like those types of deals a lot.
Absolutely.
Because they're quick. There's not a lot of rehab involved. So I've had a lot of success over the years with using local hard money for those deals as well, because the risk is lower on a wholesale, right? They're not having to worry about managing draws and construction schedules and all these different things. You got to make the phone call a local hard money lender, explain to them the exit strategy. Sometimes they may not have heard about it yet. Explain to them the concept and what you're doing. And, a lot of them will see the bigger picture and want to invest in something like that if it makes sense.
Yeah. Hey, Max, quick question for you. Where can we find the Alpha Only shirts, man?
Alphasonly.com.
Alphaonlys.com, bro. Yeah, it's up there, bro. To answer your question, somebody asked that question in the comments.
I think my team was back there responding.
Oh, okay. Cool.
What's new, man? COVID's still happening, and I think they've passed some type of relief bill for landlords. I've heard.
Have you heard that? I saw something about that today, but I didn't read into it.
I only heard about it in the elevator from Francis.
How's my guy Francis doing, man?
He's good, man. We've what we're struggling with right now is we're building the internal sales team. And scaling. We've had to pivot since COVID happened. Is essentially like kind of because we built a new office and we're putting we're gonna have local wholesalers from North Carolina be able to work out of the shop. And with COVID going on, we really can't. We really can't
have
do
a ton
that.
of people in. And Now, this COVID situation has been crazy. I mean, the weird thing is the market hasn't slowed down, but the way we interact, we're all having to try to figure out ways like what you just talked about, how to shift around the way that we interact, the way that we run our businesses. It's been it's been an interesting couple of months, man.
Yeah. So, one of our big struggle is hiring an internal team, because I creating the company culture is important to me. So just finding people that are salespeople that understand sales structure and all that stuff like that. So it's been difficult, I would say, on continuing to grow it to the numbers that I want to grow, all of it. But it's part of growing, it's part of scaling.
We're gonna keep pushing it, man. That's what
sure.
you got to do.
Somebody said how long. This is a question for all three of us, I guess. How long did it take each one of us to get our first wholesale deal?
That's a good question. Let me go first on that.
Go.
8 months for me, bro. Consistent work. 8 months consistent work for me.
Yeah, took me 2 years. The first year I was not super focused. Had action analysis paralysis. Every excuse in the world why I wasn't taking action and getting things done. Then in the second year, I kind of made the decision I was going to work as hard as possible, start getting things done. And in about 2 years, I was able to do that first deal.
So question, were both of you guys full-time, or were you working something else?
No, I had a job.
I had a job, bro. And that job kept me motivated, bro. No way in hell I was doing it the rest of my life.
Nas, where were you working at?
Believe it or not, at that time, I did my first deal. I was working for a great company. I mean, it was a great company, but I just ain't shit. So with that being said, man, it's one of the top investment companies. Yo, look, the joint was so crazy, son. When they fired me, right? They let me go in November. And they was being nice to me. But let me explain to you how, bro, I guess at the time, I must have been useless as a white crayon, bro. Look, let me tell you, real talk. Called me, I was late. I was using the bathroom. I was late to getting fired. So they called me in that joint, right? As soon as I sat down, hey, yo, come in here. It was November. It was like, all right, so it's me, the manager, and dude from HR. And so I'm like, oh, it's like, yo, look.
You thought it was a promotion.
Nah, I knew it wasn't no promotion. I knew it wasn't promoting me, bro. But it was like, yo, look, we downsizing. And for us downsizing, we cutting your position and all this. Our manager's like, I told you had some things coming. I'm like, yo, it's cool. Like, yo, yeah, hey, it's cool. It's all good. So, and the reason why I didn't take it in a negative way or harshly, because I never see myself as an employee the rest of my life. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, they like, so look, we eliminating your position, but we keeping you on payroll till January 1st. But don't come back here no more. And I was, son, that's what they told me, bro.
Don't come back.
But don't come back, bro.
So they're giving you 2 months of payroll.
Swear to God.
They didn't want you around that bad.
They didn't want me around that bad, son.
They said, bro, we're going to pay you for 2 months.
2 months.
But please don't come back to the building, man.
I swear to God. And this is a prestigious company. So they made me sign something like a 5-year NDA that I can't speak on. You know what I mean? And I ain't got nothing bad to say about them. Like, they looked me out. Because one of the things they was like, look, and then after we keep you on to this day, it was like January 3rd, you'll be for 12 months. So you eligible for a 3-week severance. So I'm like, it's all good, bro. Like, I ain't coming back to the building. There ain't no trouble for me. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, man.
I ain't never heard of nobody getting paid for 2 months not to come back to the building, man.
Yeah, I was terrible, son. I was terrible, bro. Like, I did not. I was in my 20s, but when I was in my 20s, I ain't going to work. I went to work to party. You know what I'm saying? I was party and bullshit for real talk. So I'm like, yeah, man, you know what it is. It's party and bullshit. It's, you know what I'm saying? Like,
hey, listen, I used to work in a call center, so I definitely know.
Yeah, all right. So yeah, but at that time, I started off in the call center, but then they outsourced the call center down to Atlanta, and they had me in that joint processing like life insurance policies, and I guess I was terrible at it apparently, and they was just like, "Yo, you got to go," you know what I mean? So security, right? So security, when they was walking me out, I'm like, he like, "Yo, bro," he like, "Yo, bro, you gotta just take the tape." I'm like, yo, come on, bro. Let me take these pins, bro. Because I had to steal something. I had to steal something. You know what I mean? I had to steal something, bro. Like, yo.
So you took all the pins on the security desk?
Nah, like in my desk. You know what I mean? Because they was like, yo, just take with your stuff now. Anything else, we gonna come clean it out and send it to you.
They wouldn't even let you come. They wouldn't even let you come back to get your stuff.
Oh hell no, nah. They took my badge at the door, bro. Like when they want me, yo, your badge, it's out. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, those big companies do that, man.
Yeah, I had to tell security at the gate because I couldn't swipe myself out.
So you couldn't even get out the building, man.
Word up, son. Like, yeah, they played me, man.
Today my last day.
Wait, Max, how long did it take you to do your first deal, man?
My situation was different. I didn't have a job. I was back home with my mom, so I was very back against the wall, motivated to get out. So it took me 3 weeks to get my first deal under contract, and it was inside of the neighborhood I grew up in, so I was familiar with the area. But you know, I've seen people get their first deals very quickly, and then it can be damaging too. But luckily, my back was against the wall. I had to win.
Yeah, Max, can we stop there? All right. So a few things you said at We Live, right? What was that? We Live 2020. So
yeah, in Atlanta.
Yeah, you said that you were uncomfortable because of, first of all, you experienced, you tasted the good life. You was out on your own. You go and come as you please. You could have as much company or as minimum company as you wanted. Then you was in mom's house, and all that was just like, that's over with.
It was over with. Yeah, I left home at 17. I had to come back at 30.
Damn,
almost 31.
Yeah,
that's pressure right there.
Yeah, I left home at 24. But anyway, let me say this. I'm making the point. I think that when you're uncomfortable, that's when you're going to be most motivated to do some shit, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I agree 110%, man.
Bro, when you have yeah.
Yo, listen, I tell people all the time, you got to embrace and touch your rock bottom. Like once you get there, I've been there. Once you get there and you can feel that should be all the motivation that you need to attack and go get any and everything that you want out of life. It's just like being at the pool, man. You at the pool and you in 3 feet of water, and all summer you looking at everybody jumping in 8 feet. Man, they look like they're having a good time. They over there jumping off the diving board, boom, boom, boom.
Some of the guy.
You already know how to swim though. You just scared, right? You just scared of the deep end. And then you walk in and somebody throw you in, and you all of a sudden you touch the bottom of that pool, and it's a mental breakthrough. You're like, wait, that was it? Like that was all that it was? Right? Like all I had to do was just jump in and touch the bottom of the pool. Now, next thing you know, you jumping off the diving board doing flips, but you gotta embrace touching the bottom, man. That's so important. You gotta embrace touching the bottom. It's nothing like having your back against the wall.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. The back against the wall. I think because one of my guys that I had on the podcast, Coach Lynch, he was like, when they buried me, they didn't know. When they buried me, they didn't know I was a seed. Some of your greatest things come out of your darkest times. And that's real. Burton had a question. He said, "Where do you guys see yourself? What are you talking to us? Where do we see ourselves in 10 years?"
Man, I know where I see myself. Y'all want me to go first?
Yeah, because you always talk about the picture, the perfect picture.
Yeah, for me, man, I want to be, doing more commercial development, creating mixed-use properties, commercial properties downtown. If somebody doesn't know what mixed use is, that's when you see commercial properties with apartments or residential up top. I want to be intentional in doing that. Obviously, I like doing high design, market rate, things of that nature, but something that's become extremely important to me, developing and creating more Black spaces for Black entrepreneurs, Black business people. They need spaces that are affordable. So that's something that's extremely important to me. In 10 years, man, I see myself create my legacy around those things specifically, man.
What about you, Nas? Where you at in 10 years?
Man, 10 years, definitely. I definitely better be in somebody's development project, bro. So yeah, development project. I mean, development projects, a large portfolio of apartment buildings and such. But yeah, that's where in 10 years, man, I want to be at. Hopefully, and still continuous enjoying life with a family at that time. Hopefully, be happily married and all that. But yeah, because I didn't experience true happiness and freedom until I was an entrepreneur. So, and I got fired at 29, and that's when I really experienced like coming back from vacation and not having that burden of damn, I got to go back to work. It was more like I was excited to get back to work coming from vacation because I'm passionate about what I want to do. I've been wanting to do this since I was 19, but where I see myself at just moving up the chain.
Yeah. Hey, Max, real quick before you answer, just want to jump in and say one thing. And Nas, I speak for myself and I speak for Max right now. Okay? Max, I know you don't mind. I speak for myself and I speak for Max right now. And I say we, all right, we cannot wait until the day you get married. We literally cannot wait until the day that you get married. We can't wait to be there and be in full support. Right? In full support. Now, we're going to plan the bachelor party. All right. We already know what type of party that's going to be. All right. We're gonna take care of that part. All right.
Yeah,
but I speak for myself. I won't gonna say it, but that's what kind of party we're gonna have. It's gonna be very voluptuous. All right. But I speak for myself and Max, man. We cannot wait. I'm looking forward to it.
Man, yeah, I'm that's gonna be crazy. I wonder who's gonna be first, him or me.
Right. Yeah.
For me, I'm with both of you guys, and I think that's because we're in the same circle and we talk about the same thing a lot with each other. But yeah, I'm gonna definitely be into development, mixed use, commercial, all that stuff like that. Building apartment complexes, keeping some, selling some. Doing more development downtown, things like that. So I'm with you. By then, I really hope I have a family. By then, I'll be 45 then. So if not, I'm just gonna go crazy at that point, right? But yeah. So that's a good question. Yo, my man Brian Smith, what's up, Sarge?
Is that my guy Sarge?
Yeah, that's my guy Sarge.
Yo, B. Smith, what up, man? I hope that man is doing very well, man.
And then somebody below him, Marco, said he was in the Army and wanted to start wholesaling. Now B. Smith was not in the Army, but he just recently got out of the Air Force. I think he was a master sergeant. I don't know if he sold on senior or not. But anyways, he started. My man just went all the way in, and I'm proud to do because he got rentals now. He has flips doing. He was able to buy his daughter a car for her graduation. He ain't got to worry about paying for college. And this is somebody that's 20-something years in the military, and found his path late in his military career, which is very rare that somebody is able to transition from long-term military personnel into civilian world and be successful, because the military can be such a crutch, I should say, for you. But he says, question, do you all do many rehabs to refi to keep the property and pull the cash out? So where he is he's been wholesaling now, successful at it. And what he did was he took his money and bought rehabs, and he took his cash and bought rehabs. Now I know I personally haven't done that yet, where I've bought a property cash, rehabbed it, and kept it, as far as and refied it out. But I know that's a strategy I'm supposed to be doing. Because one, you don't pay taxes on a loan. in the sense that you put your money to work, you get the same money back, but you don't pay taxes on the money that you put out there. So that makes sense in the tax
That's
world.
a gem right there. That's a
Yeah.
gem. Yeah, I've done that. It's a great way. The only caution that I would give every single person is please don't try to pull out the max value of what they're going to
Pull
give
out
you.
what you got in it. If anything.
Yeah, just get back what you need to get back. Maybe a couple thousand or whatever the case might be. But too often I see people that, like right now, if you can cash out refi at 75%, they're constantly going and pulling out 75% on each property. I don't like that particular model. I think it makes more sense to be at 65% on that personally, just to have some hedge on your risk. And you want to be able to brace for impact for any type of market fluctuation or anything like that. And I think it's important to say too, because I feel like people confuse this or misunderstand this. Guys, cashing out refinances is not profit. All right. You're cycling cash back into your business. That is not profit. All right. A lot of people, they do these cash out refinances to 75%, and they're moving with that money like it's profit, like net profit in their pockets. That's not what that is. You're borrowing from yourself.
So while you on the topic, somebody with T5, they said he's having a hard time understanding what the cash out refi is. Explain what it is.
All right. So a cash out refinance is when you buy a property cash or you buy a property with financing. It could be either or, private money, hard money, bank money, whatever the case might be. You buy a property as a point. You purchase a property, you do a value add. So you increase the value of that property by doing repairs to the property. All right. Mm-hmm. So you may have bought that property for $100,000. Now it's worth, let's just say $200,000, and you can pull out 70%. So you might be able to pull out 170. Okay. So that's doing a cash out refinance. You may be in at 100,000, but it's worth 200. So you can pull out 70%, up to 70% of the value of the house. So if that amount is, and my math may be completely off, but if it's 170, all right, then you cash out your 100,000, you got 70,000 in your pocket. But again, that is not profit. You're borrowing from yourself, and you will pay on that money that you cash out.
Yeah, so let me give you a quick example, and I'll try to pull out the calculator here. Let's just say a house is worth 120, and you paid 50 for it, and it needs 20,000 in work, right? So now you paid cash for it, 50. You put the 20 in work in it. It's now you got 70,000. It's worth 120. So now with the house worth 120, you go to the bank, which you own a asset that you added value to, that is now worth 120. When they do the appraisal, they say, oh, well, this house is worth 120. And what happens from there is you go to the bank and you ask for a refi. Basically, you're asking for a mortgage. It's not even a refi because you don't have anything on it. You're just saying, hey, look, I want to finance this house that I own free and clear. Now, the bank will give you, they've been doing some crazy stuff lately, but I wouldn't leverage more than 70%, right? So you're talking times 70%. You can get $84,000 out of that house safely, and you got 70 in it. Me personally, if that was your cash to keep recycling, I would just take out what you got in it, maybe a little bit more. So now you go out and you get a let's just say a $75,000 mortgage that you had 70 in it. Now you have a mortgage payment of $450. Well, that same house can rent for, let's just say $1,000 to be whatever. That same house rents for $1,000. You're paying the mortgage with $1,000, and you're keeping the rest as cash flow. And now what happens is your portfolio, if you stay like that, your portfolio will be at 70% and below. And you want to, as the longer you have the portfolio, you're paying off your mortgage own, and eventually you're going to own it free and clear. And instead of paying, $400, $500 to the mortgage company, you're now paying zero to it, and you own an asset free and clear, which should appreciate over the years. This is what real estate really about. Whether you're doing it commercial, whether you're doing it residential, you're going to get into something that is undervalued, add value to it, go to the bank, get cheap money, rent it out. The difference between what you're paying the bank and what you're renting it for is your cash flow. And you want to repeat this process over and over and over again. And next thing you know, you got 15 commercial buildings, 100 single family units, or however you want to break up your portfolio. But then what happens is your net worth starts to become that equity that's in all your properties, right?
Now you
So a
borrow
lot of
against that.
so a lot of people say we all see this meme that goes around people say, oh, real estate is where the most millionaires is created. Now people thinking, oh, they wholesale and they flipping. No, that's not where it's created. Most millionaires in real estate are actually on their primary residence, right? You live in California, you bought a house 15 years ago, it's worth, you know, you bought it for 400,000, it's now worth, 900,000, right? There goes $500,000 in equity.
Right.
And if you paid it down, that's how those people become millionaires in real estate. It's not usually active cash or actually real cash at all.
That's
Is that,
important.
will you guys understand that? I mean, would you guys agree with that? I mean,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's important. I like the way that you broke that down. I think that's a common misconception. Liquidity versus assets. Being a millionaire on paper is much, much different than being a liquid, millionaire.
Yeah.
And I think that's important for people to understand. Cash out refinance, the Burr method, is a really, really good method of investing. My only advice, man, is you got to have a plan with it. There has to be some type of intent behind that strategy and what you're trying to achieve. And then when you get to that point that you talked about, where you've got a portfolio of 15, 20 properties, whatever it might be, and you're maxed only at 70% on all of those, that difference, right, of 30% on that portfolio, you can now then leverage that into larger projects, apartments, commercial development, things of that nature. You can borrow against that portfolio and lend money out, become a hard money. Like there's so many possibilities that are available once you set that up properly.
Exactly. Nah, that's 100. I know there was a question. Nas, I don't think you answered it. I know you do a lot with bank, and you do a lot. You don't talk about it a lot. You do a lot with bank and private money.
Yeah, with local banks, buy houses, renovate them, and refinance with local banks. Local banks are the way to go. The difference between a local bank and an internet company that works with investors, right? And when I say works with investors, meaning that you can refinance these properties in your LLC and not in your name, and the loan is sold to Fannie and it's a Fannie and Freddie loan, and they sell it off, whatever how that go. But I work you with local banks. Most local banks are going to give you a 15-year amortization schedule. What that is that loan being paid off on a schedule of 15 years. And normally they're going to have a balloon. The balloon can be anywhere from 3 years to 7 years, depending on the bank. The balloon means that after that, your rate goes up to market rate. But in the fine print, it tells you that it can only go up X amount. Whatever it is, not like the last time when it can go at 3-4 points. No, nothing like that. So the internet companies, they'll do it on a 30-year AM. And so, excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you. And on the 30-year AM, what you'll see is that you get a cheaper payment. But a lot of those internet companies, they come with a lot of fees. A lot of unnecessary fees that local banks don't charge.
Yeah, but Nas, can I add to that real quick though?
Absolutely, bro.
Those internet companies can be good for people, especially if you got poor credit, things of that nature. The barrier of entry into those internet companies, Lima One, Vizio, Lending Home, that barrier of entry is going to be much, much lower from a credit perspective. Correct. Now the interest rate on that kind of stuff is going to be 6, 8, 9%. But the game is, because I know, like me, right? Like when I started, my credit was jacked up because I had American Express with 20 grand, and I was trying to hustle PlayStation 3s or PlayStation 2s in college. Yeah, I was tripping, and I ended up scrambled eggs, right? But most of us start with lower credit, poor credit. These internet companies are a good opportunity because what you can then do is you can build up a package or a small portfolio with one of these internet-based lenders that will do 30-year amortization like Nas is talking about. And now you have equity that you can then go leverage, even with a lower score. You can take that and then go leverage it with a local bank. That local bank will then cash you out from the internet lender. All right. Lower your interest rate. So now your cash flow also increases. And oftentimes you've got equity that you can actually cash out in those scenarios and still have a lower monthly payment. So with the right strategy, using those internet based lenders can be good. You just got to kind of know how to play that game.
Absolutely. Let's see if we got any good questions over here. Nas, do you have a video talking about IRA on YouTube?
I should, yes. I believe I do.
You should do a live on that, man. You're pretty versed on those IRAs.
People talk about asking a question. Somebody asked you, and I know you talked about it 2 weeks ago. And I know you did something. Didn't you do something with Sean?
It's got to be on my channel. Okay. I don't know what's on my channel, guys. Y'all gotta check it out. But I want to say I probably got some. I got some IRS stuff on my channel. Yeah, absolutely.
Got it. Brian said use small community banks.
Yeah. There you go. Nah, so that's the way to go. Like for your so this is how I got mine separate up before we get into the question. Is my wholesaling business, I do have an account with Bank of America, right? And the reason why I like Bank of America because they're everywhere, right? Customer service is great, you can get things done, etc. Right? And my personal account is with Bank of America. However, my rehab account, my rehab and new construction account is with a local bank, and my rental account is with a local bank because local banks lend to real estate investors. Those big major banks, they don't dabble too much in the residential level of real estate business. Their ideal client is a $5 million price, $5 million gross a year or more. And so like the single family stuff, they really don't, that's not a focus. They might do it, but that's not a focus and not what they do.
You said the big banks. You said that's the big banks.
Yeah, the big banks, they don't really mess with the single family investment stuff.
Yeah, and because the thing about the small local banks, they'll actually drive by the property.
Yo, I swear to God, yeah, they'll drive by the property. I had lunch with him, and he said, "Yeah, we drive by the property."
I call those relationship loans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you can build with a community bank. Like one of my lenders, for example, at a local community bank, they have the capacity. My lender can write from his desk and approve up to $2 million on loans. All right. He doesn't have to go above anybody to get approval for that, yada, yada, yada. So, I know my relationship is with him, right? If I build the right relationship with him, even if something on the project, my debt to income, whatever the case might be, may not be exactly where I need it to be, he can make that work because he has the ability to do that. And a lot of that comes down to whether or not they believe in you and believe in the project that you're doing.
Yeah, if you have cash, here's what I recommend you do, and this is what I did. First, I got an intro to a VP at a local bank, very small bank here, through somebody else that was credible. And I walked in there and I said, if I bring money over, what will you guys do for me? It was that simple. Because once you understand how banks operate and how they need deposits to be able to do fractional lending, then you understand the power you have. So if you could bring over 100,000 and slap it in an account over there, you got to be able to say, if I bring over 100,000, what's that lending power will you give me?
Yeah, what type of lending capacity can I get?
Yeah,
I agree.
So let's find I know we got about 15 minutes or so. This time go by so quick because it's like we just chat on the phone.
I swear to God, real talk.
So we see. Knowing what you guys know, is there anything you would do different regards to your business? Knowing what you know.
Hell yeah! Let me start.
Go.
Hey, bro, let me try. Hey, bro. Okay, man. I've been involved in real estate for 13 years since 07. If I would have known what I know now, I would have focused on rentals. That would have been my sole focus, bro. Keep it, number one. Number two, wholesale it. Number three, rehab it. But I would have kept way more stuff, bro.
If I didn't know what I knew. I wouldn't have done nearly the amount of flips that I've done, nearly the amount of new construction projects that I've done. My greatest mistake in 10 years of business is not buying more rentals more aggressively. I started in 2010, similar to Nas. Back when you could, if you wanted to buy 5 houses right now, you could go on MLS and get 5 incredibly great deals right now.
I was getting sick right
now. Nas knows exactly what I'm talking
because
about.
I know guys who did that,
and they chilling right now. They chilling right now. All right, my greatest mistake. We came in during the recession when the market had bottomed, and I was young, naive, and partially mentally ill. All right. So what I decided to do was, hey CJ, you can make $30,000, or you can make $300 a month. Oh yeah, okay, give me the $30,000. All right. And so I waited way too long to start acquiring assets, buying rental properties. If I could go back and flip it, I would be heavily buying rentals, and I would be heavily wholesaling everything else, just like Nas said.
I would have to agree with everything. Less flips because it's quick money, but it is very expensive at year end. It's not as sexy as what it looks like on paper.
Yeah, when that tax hit,
Yeah, exactly. And I think from one thing that I wish that I had did was I wish I was financially literate prior to learning real estate. In the sense that I wish I knew the power and what money actually was, and wasn't just so excited about getting money.
I mean, that's the thing. When you start young like we do, I remember when I started.
I was 30. I wasn't that young. I just wasn't
30 still young, man. 30
young, bro.
Yeah, no, I'm saying in the sense of where you started at.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But for me, like if you would have talked to me about a cash out refinance when I was 22 years old, I would literally not understand anything that you were talking about. I could understand wholesaling, but cash out refi, hey, Burb method, do this, do that, amortization chart. No idea, no concept of what that even meant. So I agree with you. And that's why I think it's important for people to understand, like the information that we give out individually, collectively, like this type of stuff was not available whatsoever before. If you wanted this type of game, this type of information,
you had to pay them big boy seminars.
10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50,000 and try to get this type of information. And so like we just didn't have the availability of that info at the time that we started. So you learn from trial and error. You learn from just figuring it out.
I think my bad, Nas, but I think for me, if I had to start over again, which I don't think I would have changed much other than buy more of the stuff that I looked at and was like, yo, let me make this quick 10 when I got on the contract for 20. And I think what happens is, here's what I would say any beginning investor that's trying to get in at the ground level of wholesaling is understand how powerful what you know how to do as a wholesaler is worth to the real estate world. When you understand that you are the best of the best, like you're the guy that can go get iPhones for $200. You're that guy, right? So you got to figure out whatever you want to equate that to. Wholesaling, when you learn how to wholesale efficiently, means that you know how to evaluate properties, negotiate deals, find distressed properties. All these things are important to every single realm of real estate. So Nas and Chris, we're in the developers group. What's the root of being a developer?
Gotta find deals, man.
You gotta find something
listen. Max is dropping an incredible amount of game right now. The most difficult.
I'd skip all this flipping stuff, and I would take my knowledge and I would have went straight into development.
I dig that. Yeah,
because I didn't understand how powerful what I know is to the real estate industry.
Let me put that in perspective though for the people that are watching, right? Because we've had these conversations privately. Me, you, Nas, and the development group that we're in. Like, for example, being direct to seller is the most important part of real estate. All right. And I'm going to explain exactly why what Max is saying is so important. All right. Because when you get, and what he's talking about is when you have the knowledge and capacity to create opportunities to be direct to seller in all situations. So you can source your own deal flow. Okay. So the developer that owns the office building that I'm in right now, he can't get deals direct to seller. He doesn't have the ability to do it. He doesn't have the understanding. Now he can buy a $20-30 million building. All right. But he doesn't know how to go sit at somebody's kitchen table and close them. He doesn't know how to source them, where to get the phone numbers, all the things that you guys know. All right. Now here's the reality though, what Max is telling you. That same developer, if I would have found the deal for this office building, direct to seller, all right, and brought that deal to him, and I would have said to him, hey, you know what? Instead of getting $100,000 wholesale fee, you know what? I don't want a wholesale fee at all, but I want some equity in the project. I don't want to be involved in anything. It's your business. You develop it. You turn it into office space, all right? But I'm not going to charge you anything. I've got a contract with a seller. I'm not going to charge you anything, though, to give you this deal, okay? The assignment process, guys, is the same whether it's 30 million or 30,000. The process is the exact same. All right. But you know what? Hey, you know what, Mr. Developer? I'll assign this building to you, this property to you. My only ask, instead of getting 100,000 up front, is I want 5-10%, whatever it might be, of the project for the life of the project. I want 5-10% equity. Here's what people don't realize. That developer would say, okay. He would do that because that's how a lot of development deals actually happen. All right. And the reality of that is the 100,000 savings is more important to him than giving up 5% of a $20 million project.
It's even more than a 100,000. You only getting paid 100,000. It's still got to be a deal for him to even buy it from you.
Right.
So you probably bringing $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 worth of value to the project. You saying, here's what I'm bringing.
Yeah, I'm bringing the deal. So guys, everybody above us in the real estate totem pole, the flippers, the landlord guys, the apartment guys, the mixed use, the industrial, they all have one core issue that we don't have. They cannot find deals. They have to wait until somebody brings them a deal.
Exactly. And I think better than saying finding a deal, I think is creating an opportunity. That word you use.
Yeah.
For us to be able to go out and create opportunities is invaluable.
I mean, that's your tool belt, man. Like you can create, and it's crazy because I don't think people understand how much opportunity they have in between their ears, just from understanding wholesale concepts, being able to implement wholesale concepts, because you can literally push your way into, and I'm talking about without a lot of money, without credit. I'm talking about because you have the deal, you can push your way into so many different verticals of real estate. The home builder that's building subdivisions and things of that nature, a lot of people don't know this. Wholesalers are bringing them those deals.
But check this out. What's even crazier, and this is probably too much information in here, but if you have the idea, if you can get for example, if you can put a piece of land under contract that is good for now don't go lock up no crazy thing. You got to know what you're doing here.
I'm not saying go lock up a $30 million building. Not. You got to have the contacts for that. Now, what I'm saying is, I got the contacts. You can call me.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, if you go find a piece of land that is suitable for a neighborhood, and you got up and you got the you can get it under a very good price. Did you know that all you had to do was spend the money to put the concept of the neighborhood together, such as the plat map, such as the engineering plans, such as the drawings? Let's just say you all in 50, 60, maybe 70, when you ain't touched the dirt yet. And you did this all in your due diligence period. You just tripled the value of that. You no longer just got a piece of land. You actually have a business that you're selling to somebody else. And those are where a lot of developers never even touch the dirt.
Nope. They have somebody else develop it for them. Mm-hmm. And then they buy it once it's perked. And they can start building on those properties. I know a wholesaler in my town right now. Their business model is specifically finding large plots of land, getting those plots of land under contract, going through the zoning process. Maybe it takes a year, maybe 2 years. All right. And then they wholesale wholesale that deal to a developer who then already has a relationship with a national home builder. All right. And then they wholesale it to the developer. They make a very last deal that I talked to the guy about. He made this is a wholesale deal. He made $468,000. This is a wholesale deal. He made $468,000. It's a lot of money. All right.
Yeah.
All right. And so then the developer put in the infrastructure, the roads, all of that jazz. And then he also technically wholesaled it to the home builder. Guys, just the knowledge that you're going to get in this business, what you're learning, it doesn't stop just at a single family property.
That's correct.
The game is having the ability to know how to source properties and get them at discounted rates.
Create opportunities.
Let me say this though, right? Let me before we move on to the next question or whatever. Okay, so years ago I did that 246,000 on a deal. That was a commercial property, and
Yes.
I had to get the survey. I had to get the concept plans. So for those who don't know, if you're from a major city, and I don't like, we used to go from Jersey, North Jersey, we used to go to New York and see the International Car Show, right? And that it starts in Detroit and then it goes to like New York and other major cities. And what they would do, they would show concept cars. So a concept car is something that, hey, we thinking about coming out, but it may never come out. So
Yep.
I get the concept plans, right? So with me getting the concept plans, I probably spent about $2,500 or $3,000, somewhere around $2,500 or $3,000. So when I was getting the concept plans from the lady was like, "Yeah, I know exactly what you're trying to do, and that's a great business." And she was saying, if you continue on this, you'll be buying these deals yourself and going full out with the project, or whatever. So she told me about a guy. She said this guy in Daytona bought a property, and it wasn't many acres, but it was like maybe over like 2-3 acres in Daytona, Florida, for like $1 million. But she said he went and got the concept plans, the survey, got everything approved with the city. Everything's approved. So whatever those plans say that you can do, you can actually do it. He said she was like that. He just turned around, decided not to do the project, and sold it to another developer for $3 million. And I said, wow, that's crazy. So basically, essentially a $2 million wholesale fee because he never closed on the property.
Yeah, and the whole idea and the reason why we're bringing this stuff up, and it's high level stuff, it's even high level for us, is that I want you to be able to shoot for the stars. If you start in this business, understand where it can go. Understand that it's not just what you see most people talk about. There's a next level to this. There is the Don Peoples of the world. There's people out there that you can aspire to be that are developers. They didn't just wake up one morning and just say, "Oh, I'm a developer." You know what I mean? So you guys need to understand, once you master the concept of creating opportunity, which is essentially what wholesaling is, then you can take that concept of creating opportunities and just move it to another realm of real estate that just happens to pay more money.
Yeah,
you know,
and it's thinking outside of this space, and this is stuff, guys, that the three of us collectively are like actively right now in real
right
time,
now. I just
like
gave y'all
working to figure out right now. Like, and we're giving this to y'all right now because we're actively figuring it out. Right now, here's the thing with all that. Right, like the genius in all of it is we have to understand that, like, so the traditional way, like when I first started, how many people that are starting right now, it's like, oh, I want to wholesale, then I want to flip houses, right? And it's like the narrative is like, hey, Max, you're flipping houses. Maybe I can make 10,000 wholesaling this to you, but I'll take 5 if you let me shadow you, right? And so like we get sucked in this vortex of, oh, I want to figure out how to flip houses. I want to figure out how to do this. I want to figure out how to do that. What we're telling you guys is stuff that I'm 10 years in. Nas is 10 years in. Max is what, 4 years in, right? Like this is stuff we're figuring out right now and passing to you guys so you can take it, run with it, and implement it as well. And we can really all go create this wealth, create these opportunities, create these wins, because we got to get rid of that train of thought like, oh, I just want to become a flipper.
Yeah.
Oh, if I could just flip houses and renovate houses. Oh, if I could just be a landlord. Like there's so many different plays, but you have to be open and willing to see these plays so that you can take advantage. Like I call it court vision. I use a lot of sports analogies, right? Like you got to have that court vision and be able to see a play before it actually develops, right? And that's a lot of what we're talking about right now.
There you go. Somebody says, I've watched almost every YouTube live from all of your past several months, made $27,000 on my first wholesale deal this month and sold it to Christina. She's talking about Christina Aguilera,
That's
aka
dope, man. That's dope.
and see, this is what I'm saying. There's so many stories like these, and it's important. And here's what I want you guys to understand. I've never talked to Morgan in my life. Never. I don't think Nas or CJ has either. She went out and she took action, right? She studied, she became addicted to it, and she took action. And then she sold the deal to one of our friends and made Christina paid out a $27,000 assignment fee. So it's all about taking action. And like I said before, the reason why we having this high level conversation today is to show you where this goes. It doesn't just start and stop at single family. It doesn't mean you need to go from wholesaler to flipper to apartment owner. You know, don't let somebody paint the path for you. Understand that you can go from learning how to wholesale very well to owning a high-rise tower if you know what you're doing. Yeah. Or being a part of a $50 million development deal, all because you understood that there was a bigger picture to everything. Look, man, we've been on here for an hour and 5 minutes. You guys got anything you want to spill out?
Nah,
man. I mean, we love doing this with y'all every other week. We try to keep it just to an hour. Max, you're doing crazy content right now. Nas, you're doing crazy content right now. I'm doing crazy content right now. We're all crazy slam. We all have our own actual businesses that we got to run and do deals and make things happen. But we like doing this every other week just to have a loose conversation, talk about different things that are going on, talk about things that are working for us, things that are not working for us. Because I know I speak for all of us. Max kind of really pioneered this movement, this train of thought, and we want to inspire and motivate. See you guys do well. I've gone through my share of struggles. Max, I know you've had your share. Nas, you too.
I still go through it.
Me too. Yeah, and we're here to try to be a conduit to help you guys skip a couple of steps. Max, I know I got a big salute you, man, in front of everybody. You've created an incredible community in the wholesale space. In terms of giving, the things that you've done, your events, man, your content, and we want to see you guys win. Max, you've done these things over the years because you want to see people win. We appreciate you sharing your platform with us so that we can be a small piece of that and help people out, man. But I mean, that's why we do this show every other week. We try to keep it, like I said, an hour, but we want to motivate y'all and see you guys get these W's, man.
I think it's only right, man. I think for when you learn something, man, and it changes your life. That's how I was when I learned this side of investing. Shout out to Melvin on that, man. Respect. When I learned this side of investing, and it allowed me to expand my brain, I was so eager to tell people, and really nobody around me wanted to hear it. So I just went to the internet, and it's good, man. I'm glad I met y'all. I'm glad we linked up and we can have these conversations, because what y'all are witnessing, I know we take questions every now and then. What y'all are witnessing is just really conversations we have on a regular. You just got a fly on the wall. So we bounce ideas off each other. We see what everybody's doing. And I'm learning, man. I'm right now building my own house is on a 20-acre plot is really a development. The way I had to put the road in, the way I had to. So I'm learning development stuff as I'm going. Every time the inspector comes out, I'm there because I want to learn his knowledge. I want to pick off his brain. And I'm just, all of us learn every single day, man. And I appreciate you and I appreciate Nas, because it's cool to be able to do this with other people, you know, and collaborate.
Yeah.
Nah, let's close this out, man. I know
All
you
right,
got somewhere to be.
Yeah, I know what it is. You know, make sure y'all follow me at Real Estate Guru on IG. You know, join my Facebook group, Wholesaling with the Guru. You got the Wholesaling Elite. Shout out to Max and Chris. They were in the Yahoo Finance article. What was that last week? So make sure y'all get that. Share it with your friends. And as usual, BBWs, DM me. Let me know what it is.
We must. I really forgot how you be closing out the show, man. My bad.
Yeah. I forgot too. Otherwise, I might not have passed it. DM Nas, guys. You guys go ahead and DM Nas. All right. If you want to find out more about me, go right there. All right, at the Chris Jefferson on Instagram. If you want to apply to be a student in my program, you can click the link in my bio. Peace.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you guys. Love every single one of you guys.
You too, man.
Look, man, just hit that smash, that like, and go follow my other guys, man. They cool people. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. We going deep sea fishing this weekend, so
Man.
watch my Instagram to see what kind of fish we catch, man. But other than that, man, y'all be safe. Have a great 4th of July, and always be learning. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.